Hey folks, I'm John Caspian.
And I'm Joseph Collins.
How's it going? So we're going to be talking about the must-have games that you can get at Gigabytes Cafe for the holiday season, both for family get-togethers and for parties. So Joseph, why don't you go ahead and start us off by listing our games, and then we're going to go through them one by one.
Well, I actually got a couple new games here, but we can get to that toward the end. But the ones that I thought that would be really good is of course the staple cooperative game is Pandemic. I got a couple of codename games, like three different variants. I got Mysterium, and I got Deception, Murder in Hong Kong, and all of these are probably like 4 to 12 players long. So it's like that's how long that's the length of the players it can accommodate.
Sweet. Okay, let's start with number one. Let's go ahead and go through the Codenames games.
All right. Well, I figured Codenames has a lot of variants, and there was one variant that came out with it was named as Codename Pictures, and I picked this one out simply because I figured that when it comes to children, if you have children or young kids in the room, then they'll probably be more drawn to the picture aspect of it. That's helping them be more, like get excited about the game and more involved in the game. But we do have the base Pictures game, but we also have a couple more variants. We have a Disney version of Codenames that has pictures, that's Disney characters, and of course we have the Marvel one right here that also uses pictures. So I mean, if you want to get the regular one, that's completely fine. I just thought the pictures would be a lot easier for if you have children around. So
great idea, very smart.
Yeah. So. Oh yeah, so those are the ones. We have plenty of these in stock, so come on down, pick it up.
Nice. What's next?
The next one, of course, is the state, like I said, Sable. The probably considered the best cooperative game on the market right now. Well, probably Pandemic Legacy, but the original Pandemic game, it's from Z-Man Games, and it caters 2 to 4 players. And basically, the theme is, if you haven't played it before, is that you are basically going around the world trying to cure diseases and prevent outbreaks from happening, and the goal is to find a cure for all 4 diseases. So it's
if you
a really
want to do
good.
a special Christmas theme on that game, all you've got to do is name the different diseases based on gross things that happen during Christmas time. So Santa's sneezes would be one of the diseases you could do.
Yeah,
and then you can also use little pegs. Like there's all kinds of little ideas that I had, like. If you have bits of candy cane, could be parts of the disease. If you don't mind candy cane bits being all over your board.
Yeah, there you go. Not only that, but one of the diseases can be fruitcake.
Oh.
We want to do. So yeah, absolutely. So figured it's a good cooperative game. If you have a small group of people, it works great for that. The other game I have it's the theme probably doesn't match the holiday, but this really doesn't. It's that important. Is of course another cooperative game called Mysterium, and this caters from 2 to 7 players. And the concept of this game is that one player is a ghost, and the other 6 players are investigators. And the ghost is someone who got murdered, and he's trying to give clues to the investigators to help them figure out who was the one who committed the murder. So that game is a really good cooperative game. I mean, there's no direct combat with anybody, so it's a great way just to I played it. It's a great game. It's based on, and the way the ghosts give clues is that you have to take cards and you have to basically give hints through subjective, in a subjective way. Mm-hmm. So you give a card and it has an artwork on it, and the investigators are trying to figure out, okay, what does the ghost mean by this? Is he trying to point us to the blue in the card, or the specific shape in the card, or this specific image in the card, or the overall idea that the card? Is there a story he's trying to tell us with the card? So it's a really good game in that sense. It's great, and unlike another game we have, it doesn't have, like I said, it doesn't have like a trader element. The enemy in this game is the time. There's a timer to it, so you got to do it before the time runs out. So
you have 7 rounds, I believe.
Yeah, 7 rounds.
Time runs out.
Exactly. So it's a great game, and I played it
for beginner board game players because the concepts are very easy. It's non-competitive, so they can ask lots of questions. There's no sense of, I have to hide my strategy. Like in some games, by asking a question, you show off your strategy and might hurt your chances. In this, it's purely a case of, I want to figure out what the ghost is telling me. Because you have on the board, so for instance, on the first set of things is you have the people who are the suspects. And then if you have 4 detectives, you have to pick out 1 suspect per detective. And the ghost says, ooh, pick the old lady with the ball of yarn. And the ball of yarn is red, so you have to then try to guess a clue on there that might have to do with her hair, the fact that she's older, it could do with the yarn. And each of the clues on the table has a whole bunch of different things to it. So in all the suspects, they all have 1 item. There are pictures on all of them, so it tells you a bit about their story. It does all kinds of things like that. And so as a new player, you can ask all of the players with you, and you can't ask the ghost really because the ghost is not meant to talk. But a lot of times the ghost will talk to try to help talk through the rules with a new player. So it's one that I've introduced quite a few people to. It's kind of one of the people say gateway games a lot, but it's definitely one of the ones where you start them off here and you say, well, if you liked this game, you will love Betrayal at House on the Hill, or you will love Dixit, or any number of other games.
Yeah. These type of cooperative games are also good to get people involved in the board game community because they don't feel like they're being attacked on all sides by somebody because they're working together with another player who's maybe experienced. Like you said, it does help them become more comfortable in that situation because they're not, there's no stress. There's no like, oh, I'm going to lose, or there isn't like, I'm not going to win this one. It's like you win together or you lose together, and you can have help along the way.
And but so if you're trying to get new players into board games with these holiday parties and whatnot, the easiest thing you can tell them is it's super easy. It's fully cooperative. There's no bashing people, or there's no outright losing because one person decided to pick on you. So play the game and learn it in 5 minutes. Quick to learn games are super great for holiday stuff. What's next on our list?
The next on the list is another one we have already highlighted, but I decided to highlight it again simply because it is around the holiday season. That is Deception Murder in Hong Kong. There's actually an expansion coming out on this, I think sometime next year or the beginning of next year. But basically, it is considered to be similar to Mysterium. It's similar concepts. You have a forensic scientist, which is the ghost in Mysterium, and he's giving out clues. And you have and the other team players are trying to figure out who murdered a specific person. But the twist between this game and Mysterium is that unlike Mysterium that doesn't have a traitor aspect to it, this game does. There's somebody in the group of investigators who himself or herself is the murderer. And they're trying to draw people away from them. And the other investigators trying to figure out who amongst them are the murderers. So it has that aspect going for it. And if you're okay with having that traitor element, it's a really good game, a really fun game too. It's considered to be like I said, in the same family style as Mysterium, but it does cater up to 12 players. So if you have a bigger group and you have more people to play, it's a good substitute for other than Mysterium. But they're both really good games, and I would suggest playing both of them.
Oh yeah, definitely. Nice, cool. What's next?
Well, actually, we got a new game just came in. This is from White Wizard Games, and I highlighted Hero Realms. This is a deck builder game in the same style of Dominion, but unlike Dominion or Thunderstone, it is a combat game. So it's you and somebody else fighting against one another. But when White Wizards first announced this game, they did announce a cooperative campaign deck, and we just got that in right there, and it's called Hero Realms. The Ruin of Tower, I think it's called.
Thandor?
The Thandor, yeah. It's actually a campaign deck. And you can take these Hero Realms character packs that you see here, and this is your starting deck right here. In a deck builder game, every player gets a starting deck, and they can add on to that as the game goes along, and this is your starting deck right here. And you can take basically the base game of Hero Realms, this, and then I think the base realm. I have to see exactly, and then take this, and you can just play through the campaign. It has about 3 missions, and you can add on to your character as it goes. You can get experience points like you would a campaign, and add all these things to your hero deck. So I'm really looking forward to it. I'm excited. I haven't had a chance to play it yet, but we did get it in. and it's I think it would be really good. It's as you can see, it's a very small box,
Hmm.
and it has about let's see here, 150 cards in here. So
Nice.
if you
And Hero Realms, just like Star Realms, is a great way to get new players into card games. So if you play Magic the Gathering or any of the other collectible card game, trading card game, living card games, it is one of the ones where the simplicity of the system makes it easy enough for a brand new player, someone who's never even really the most they might know about is Pokemon, but because of the TV show, right? So they think, oh, Pokemon has cards. Oh yeah, they do have cards. How does it work? This is the kind of game where you can very easily get them into it.
and,
Nice. I
and
like it.
and not only that, but because it's a self-contained thing. It's a self-contained game, so everything you need is in this box. And another thing that makes Star Realms and Hero Realms so good is the icons on the cards. There's a game out there called Race for the Galaxy, which is a really good game, but one of the criticisms is that there's so many symbols that mean so many different things that you get this information overload with the symbol.
Mm-hmm.
With Hero Realms and Star Realms, the symbols are very easy to understand, and that helps along with the gameplay. It's easy to understand. There's a lot of good strategies to it. There's like actually a set collection aspect to it, like in Hearts. If you collect the same factions, this have like 4 different factions: red, blue, yellow, green. And if you collect multiple of the reds, for example, all red cards have a special faction power that is only activated if you have if you play 2 of the same factions or 2 cards of the same factions. So it was a really good mechanic they added to the game, and it's really simple. And I've played Star Realms multiple times. I mean, I have gotten the hang of it, so it's really easy to get into. And they have actually cooperative. Like I said, there's a cooperative aspect to it. So if you don't want to compete with one another, you can play with one another, and still have that great family time during the holidays.
Nice. Awesome. What's next?
Well, the last thing I have here is another new game we got. It's a cooperative game. It caters 2 to 4 players, and it's called Citadels of Time.
Mm-hmm.
You see, and the concept is basically that there was a evil mastermind that built a time machine that went back in time and stole all these ancient artifacts and kept it in a safe in one of his mansions. And you and your fellow players are sneaking into the mansion to get these artifacts back. But the issue is, the mastermind has set traps that is getting in your way. So you have to get through the traps, get to the stuff, and get the artifacts out before you're caught. So it's kind of a capo game, but you're taking things that were always stolen. So that's the concept of the game. So,
Sweet.
Oh yeah, so it's brand new. So if you want to come down and check it out, it's how we have on the shelf. So
Nice. And then anything, folks, on the shelves, get it, and it's good. I mean, we don't stock a lot of bad games. I don't think we stock very many bad games at all. Anything you might pick, it's going to be awesome. If you need help on figuring out the kind of game that you want to play, ask any of the staff members. A lot of us are very knowledgeable. Obviously, Joseph is very knowledgeable in a lot of these games. So if you see him on Mondays or Thursdays, just ask him about what he would suggest, depending on the type of games that you enjoy playing, because the passion that we have as gamers is what gets other people into the game. I've very recently gotten 3 different people into board gaming who really only really knew about Risk and Monopoly, etc. They thought that was the extent, or Life and those games, right? The classics. Oh, yeah. They thought that that's all that there was. And I said, you haven't even been to the local game shop, have you? Where they have a whole wall of new games. So I brought them, and it was like eye-opening.
Oh yeah!
Whoa! Look at all this! It's amazing.
Yeah. And another great thing about that I really do enjoy about the board gaming aspect is the social aspect. You and your friends are getting together, and you're actually sitting around a table. And one of the things I love is when somebody makes a move, or they find themselves in a specific situation, and it's like, how are you gonna get out? How are we gonna do this? And then something like unbelievable happens, or something like luck. Like, what are the chances of that happening? Suddenly does happen, and you get that tense moment in some of these co-op games, and what you want actually happens. It's great. It's a great experience, and you get to hang out with people, for a night, for a couple hours, and it's fantastic. So, yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I enjoy it so much. So, but yeah, no, that is a stigma when it comes to board gaming. They think that, oh, well, they've been to Target, they've been to Walmart, and Target and Walmart gets the basic ones. They get the size, they get the collect four, they get all the, and most board games are also considered to be children, or for children, I should say. Collect four, sorry, Uno, and
Yeah.
I know, or Phase 10. So you find, but there's like you said, there's a whole world of board gaming out there. There's a genre for everybody. There are mechanics that cater to people, for everybody, or that fits everybody's specific taste. So if, like I said, if you like party games, I mean, this codename game goes up to 2 to 8 plus 8 players,
Hmm.
or over 8 players, and then you have other ones that are up to, like Deceptions, up to 12 players. So if you don't want to play Pictionary, no code names. It's a great other options, great choice. It's a team on team, and it's fantastic. I absolutely love it. So
Nice. So, folks, that is our must-have board games for the holiday season here. If you haven't watched the beginning of the stream, you could watch it on replay once we're done. Next week, we're going to be talking about great board games that you can play solo as well as in a team. There's a lot of games that you don't know about that you can play one player that are actually really, really fun. So we will definitely key you in on those next week. But in the meantime, pop by Gigabytes Cafe if you're in Atlanta and check out our board game selection and just pick one out. If you don't have one, get one. If you're looking for a new one, we can probably either have it or get it for you pretty quick. If you go ahead and find something you want now and let us know, we might be able to get it in before the holidays. It's a pretty good bet if it's something that's in stock with our distributors, and we can get it in pretty quickly for you, which is great. So don't delay. Come to Gigabytes Cafe. Oh, God, that rhymed. No.
it did accidentally.
Never again. Never again. I'm sorry, Joseph.
That's fine. So,
It's okay. But thank you, folks. I'm John Caspian,
and I'm Joseph Collins.
and we will see y'all next time.